Hi, dear friends. I'm Rodica Macadrai from Romania, and I'm very excited to be sharing with you today a training about the importance of the flow and most importantly about how you can build a successful flow. But before I will start to go a little bit to the technical details, I would like to share our short story. So I'm from Romania. I'm 53 years old. I'm 28 years in Herbalife. And we built a business together with my partner and a husband, Sergio Macadrai. And he is the one who started the business actually almost 30 years ago. But since 28 years of, we are building it together. We started the business in Moldova, our birth country, which is one of the poorest countries in Europe, and then later on moved to Romania. And through all these years, we have kept learning and understanding from both our experience and the experiences of other leaders. And I really hope that our experience is going to help you advance in understanding of what you are supposed to do as a leader and how you can enhance your business and how you can make it much more efficient and profitable. Because in the end of the day, the business should be profitable. You need to have the ability to plan the business, and you need to have the ability to understand how the different components work so you can generate an outcome which you desire. So we had an average journey, I would say. We haven't been the very fast builders in this business. It took us 1 year to the Get team, 2 years to the Millionaire team, and then another 7 to the President team. But between the Millionaire team and President team, we have learned one of the lessons I'm going to share with you today. And that's how we actually managed to build a structure and a base and managed to build our business in a sustainable way. Now, I consider the training for the leadership extremely important because as leaders, we have many things to balance. We start as using the products and maybe having a couple of first customers and distributors. But then while our organization grows, the complexity of our tasks is also expanding. And there are new skills we need to develop. There are more and more things we need to coordinate and keep in balance. So the knowledge for the leader is as important as the knowledge for somebody who is a watchmaker. You don't need a lot of knowledge about how the mechanics in a watch are working to read the dial and to understand what time is it. But if you want to fix the watch, if you want to make sure that if something bad happened, you can repair it, you need to understand the mechanics. You need to understand the mechanism of the watch. This is how I consider it important for the leaders to develop this type of knowledge and to develop this type of understanding, because really it's a great responsibility in being a leader. There is many people who follow us. There is many people who trust us, and our decisions and our understanding and our actions are impacting a lot of lives, not only ours. So that's coming with great responsibility, and expanding our knowledge and understanding, I think, is extremely important. Now, in our experience as leaders, we've been through different business models. First business model was the supervisor qualification model. What does it mean is that our main focus was to qualify somebody as a supervisor. And I know this business model is still maybe used in some parts, but we had to actually evolve from that approach and that model because we were not happy about the retention, and we were not happy about the level of sustainability of our business. And we started to look into what are the factors which make a supervisor stay and what are the factors which make a supervisor productive. And that was our change to the supervisor retention model. And this was happening exactly between our Millionaire team and President team qualification. And down the road, we understood that in the end of the day, the base for the productivity of a supervisor is how many customers he has, how many people are using the products, how much product is going directly on the marketplace. And that's how we progressed actually in developing a customer retention model. So our focus in the business today is not only to bring a distributor and qualify him as a supervisor, is not only to focus to help him as a supervisor be productive and better organized, but we want to make sure that he as a supervisor know how to retain the customers as a base for his productivity. And as I told you, for us, our main focus throughout the years was to do the business in a sustainable way. Sustainability is an important value for us, and this is because we want to make sure that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, our grandchildren, or which will inherit our business, can still do the business. The business opportunity can still be alive and fresh and appealing, and the market is respecting us and is really rewarding for our thoughtful approach to the way we interact and work with each customer and each distributor. And also, maybe one of the reasons why we have been pushed into understanding the mechanics of the flow and the existence of the flow by itself was that we have been working on a market with a lot of challenges. We have been always working in economically poor and unstable markets with very low with low to very low income. We've limited human resources because Moldova is a country with 3 million people and Romania is a country with 20 million people, but it's still limited resources of Romanian-speaking population, so to say. For a period of time in the beginning, we didn't have the company in the market because the market was preparing for opening. We had undeveloped logistics and banking system in our country. And in the end of the day, that was meaning that we needed to do the triple effort for the same result. And this, of course, made us think, how can we make our lives better? How can we make the lives of our supervisors and distributors better? How can we manage to produce more in the same time? And how can we be sure that we are really, really efficient? As I told you in the beginning, efficiency is a key word when it's coming to business. We need to be efficient in everything we do. We need to be able to do more in the same amount of time, or if we work more, we need to be able to have really double results in the same time. Now, one of the things which I consider very important, and this is like a background for the training, because this is how you can really understand and drive your force and direction when it's coming to the flow. And this is about values and principles. I encourage you, once you progress on the marketing plan and you become a leader on a higher level, and also you have bigger organizations, to start reflecting about what are your values in the business, what are the principles that you have in the business. For us, from the millionaire team level, we had that clarity, and that helped us very much in developing our flow. Because when you look at the potential new DMO, or when you look to changes, or when you are thinking what would be some innovations in the flow which will help you to grow the business, the values and principles help you make the right choice. For us, for example, sustainability being an important value, we would always screen any innovation and any new idea, whether we consider it's going to be sustainable or not sustainable for the future. Is it eating the resources from the future? Is it going too fast through the market, so we don't allow enough time for people to build up and develop? Then we will always make sure we don't choose a innovation or a DMO or an approach like that. Now, our values are about responsibility and initiative and action. And this is a very important value connected to the flow, because I will explain it a little bit later. There is no such thing as the same flow forever. Flows, like business models, they have cycles. There is the moment when the flow or a business model is conceived, when it's coming with a lot of fresh approach. There is the energy of the new, there is the interest, there is the hype, there is the momentum. Then it's coming to its maturity when it gives the best results. And then slowly any model and any flow starts to be kind of old. And at some point it becomes obsolete. Because of that, we are constantly actually challenged to look what is happening around and be ready to change, be ready to adapt, and be ready to be flexible. So this is why responsibility, initiative, and action is a very important value, because you will not be looking all the time for somebody to tell you something. You will look into your organization, and if there is something which you don't like, there is a lack of productivity, there is a lack of efficiency, you will step in and make the needed changes. And this is how I advise you to always be ready to make changes if something is not working. Integrity, again, it's an important value for us. We tell to the people that we invite them to something, we will teach them how to be successful in this business. And we want to make sure that at any time, our business model is helping people be successful. We wanted to be leading by example. So we always chose flows that we were passionate about, we were agreeing with, which were comfortable for us. So we could have the passion and we could lead by example. Teamwork, again, is a very important value for us. So when we are thinking about new flow, we are involving the team. We have a team of leaders who are helping us develop the flows and implement it. And that's how we can transition easy through the implementation stages. Another value for us is exceptional standards. We consider Herbalife company and Herbalife products being of exceptional standards. So we want to make sure that our business methods and our business approach is also matching the standards of our products and of our science. And the standards of our business are our responsibility, because this is a part of the business we are responsible for. The company does the best to deliver us the best products, and everything else which is on the company responsibility list at the best standards. So this is why we strive to do our part of the job at the best standards. Now, another value for us is we are always concerned about the profitability of the supervisor. In our thinking, is our organization is as strong as an average supervisor. If an average supervisor is struggling with business methods or approaches that doesn't help him constantly be productive, then that's meaning that we have weak links in our organization. Now, what I mean constantly be productive? I mean constantly be productive if he is doing the work and if he's doing the numbers. So the flow which I design, the business method which I choose, it's working for sure. And it's working in multiple situations for a lot of people who are putting in the numbers and the effort. Now, if the person is not putting in the numbers, and the effort, of course, I cannot be responsible for his profitability. But I want to make sure that if the people are putting in the numbers and the effort, the business flow I give them and I teach them, they know how to reproduce it and they really can have results. And as I told you before, long-term approach and sustainability. Now, let's go a little bit and talk a little bit about the flow. What is actually a flow? A flow, by its definition, is certain order of steps when you try to do something that will create a smooth and steady progress to a result. Now, in the definition of the flow, smooth and steady are the key words, because we can produce results in many ways. We can produce results for 2 months, and then for 3 months, something is happening and we don't produce results. We can produce a lot of results in the beginning and then have a period when we lose everything. That is not a flow. Smooth and steady progress to a result, it's meaning that on all steps of the flow, the things are working, and the things are thought through, and the components of the flow, we are going to be talking about this in a minute, are, from lead generation to what is the proposed service we do, what is our first sale, is follow-up, is expanding the usage of the products, the personalization of the program, exposure to the business opportunity. Now, if we look at our distributors, some of them have roadblocks on different steps of the flow. But if your flow is really well thought of and worked, then somebody who is doing everything right and he is applying exactly how we teach them, he should have a smooth and steady progress to his result and his productivity. In the end of the day, everything that's working in your life has a flow. Even how you are cleaning your teeth, you don't take first the toothbrush and clean your teeth, and when you put the toothpaste. First, you take the toothbrush, you put the toothpaste, when you clean your teeth, when you wash your mouth, and this is the right order of the steps. And if you do it in the right order, you will have a smooth and steady journey to healthy teeth and healthy gums. The same, you cook. You don't first boil the vegetables and when you wash them and peel them. You first wash them, then you peel them, when you cut them, when you boil them or you fry them, whatever. So in order for you to have a good meal, there is a certain order of steps which you need to do to have a good flow. If you have a complicated meal, you need to do some prepping of the ingredients before, because if you don't prep the ingredients before and you have a fast recipe, then you can burn things or you will have to interrupt the cooking. So when you choose the right recipe and you do the right flow, the dish is going to be very, very tasty. Now, believe it or not, in our business is exactly the same. In our business, flow is a repeatable order of steps which follow each other in order to have a desired outcome. And what is our desired outcome? It's not only to have a new prospect, but it's to have a new customer, not any customer, a happy customer who is ordering products, more products, ordering more months, is referring his circle of influence and family, and it's eventually interested in the business. Or if it is a distributor, we want him to be a distributor who's using the product, is having the results, who is very good in retail, who is very good in building his organization, and he has happy customers and he has happy distributors. So we have also the same components of the flow in the business, and this is where we need to be mindful what is happening in our organization on a daily basis. Now, what is the importance of the flow? The first inventor of the flow was Henry Ford. And this was the first time when he invented the conveyor belt. And the conveyor belt is actually helping you to have the right flow. On the conveyor belt, each position has its role. Everybody is screwing in one little tiny bolt, but if one bolt is missing, then the whole mechanism later on is not going to be stable. So when you do it in this way, you have productivity, you have efficiency, you have control of the quality, you can have duplication. And duplication is the key word for us. So I consider the flow the assembly line for your royalties. If you have a right flow, when you have these smooth and steady results for people to become productive, and when the people in your organization are productive, you are earning good and healthy royalties and bonuses. Creates total clarity for action. In any moment, you can explain to the people, this is not first step number 1, and step number 2, and step number 3, and step number 4. And you could do it over and over and over again. And when you can do something over and over and over again, it's creating duplication. What is not duplicating is here you have 5 steps, there you have 7 steps, there you have 3 steps, with the next person you have 11 steps, and then there is no common ground, and people cannot duplicate because it's too much either creativity or it's lacking consistency. And then too much creativity or the lack of consistency is creating disruptions in your flow. Helps eliminate roadblocks and bottlenecks. When you see somebody struggling or the whole organization struggling with something particular, and this is repeating again and again, that is the sign that you have a bottleneck or a roadblock in the flow. For example, a lot of people are telling us, okay, something is happening, my people are not recruiting. If your people are not recruiting, if they don't bring new distributors into the organization, that's meaning that in your flow, you have a block. Something is not clear for the people how to expose to the business opportunity. And sometimes it's that they don't bring people to the HOM, or you don't have an HOM, or your HOM is communicating something different than your business method, because you need to have a totality of the DMOs and events and the materials which are working for the same flow. Enables easy mentoring and correction. Now, when somebody is coming to you and they want you to mentor them, or they want you to help them overcome a roadblock or to see what they mistake, having a flow It's helping you very easily identify what is the thing they are mistaking, because you ask, what do you do as lead generation? How do you present the products? What is your first sale? How do you personalize the program? How do you expose the people to the business opportunity? How do you activate a distributor? How do you activate or keep consuming a long-term customer? So all of these questions immediately are an indicator for you what is to fix and where is the job to be done. Saves times and increases efficiency. If the things people need to do are stable and repeatable, that's meaning after 3 or 4 or 5 times, they already go into in conscious competency. That's meaning that they do things automatically, not spending energy on them. When you have that level of knowledge in your organization, that's meaning that people are producing results easy, because they have this automation in their actions, and they really are speedy executing all the steps of the flow. Determines training system and content. When you have a flow, that flow will determine what you train, even how you will do a product training or a retail training or a follow-up training or recruiting training. Everything is going to be linked to the flow. There is nothing wrong or worse than having one flow and a training system which has a content which is not actually catered for the flow, because you will have important pieces of information missing for your people to be productive. And also allows scaling and export of the business model. Once you have a flow, you can have it in this city, you can have it in the other city, you can have it in another country. It's easy for you to teach somebody about your business flow. Now, some important definitions around the business flow. DMO is usually, this is how we define it. You may define it differently, but for the better understanding of what we are training about, DMO is the ways we bring customers and distributors and our value propositions. Some people focus on healthy, active lifestyle. Some people who focus on wellness evaluations. Some people are focusing in the nutrition club DMOs. Some people are focusing on skin. So the DMOs are very different, and there is a lot of creativity. But no matter how creative the DMO or different it is, in the end of the day, then you draw the line. The goal of any DMO is to bring a customer into the product consumption. So people many times fight about the DMOs, but there is no reason to fight about DMOs. In the end of the day, you can do what you fancy, as long as you respect the rules of the company and you are not creating some unwanted consequences of the marketplace. You can choose any DMO you want. Your actually a measurement is your DMO bringing people to buy the products or distributors to start the business or not? Flow are all the processes, steps, and actions you need to go through to achieve the results, which is productivity. And it contains what you need to do as a personal action, and also how you can leverage the power of flow supporting events. And the model is the totality of the DMO flow with supporting events and the training system. This is our definitions, and this will help you understand better what exactly we mean when we say one thing or another. Now, we have been evolving our business flow constantly. In the past, we had two separate flows, one for the customers and another for the distributors. And now for many years, we already have an integrated customer to active supervisor flow. That doesn't mean that we only talk to customers. That means that anybody who will start, even if somebody is coming for the business and we have a business conversation where we will explain the opportunity and everything, for a person to start, he will have to start as a customer, go through a preferred customer experience, and only that afterwards activate as a distributor. Now, this is not mandatory for you. I just explain you how we see the flow, and that's how we build together the elements. If you have two separate approaches, one for customers and one for the distributors, you need to make sure you build the flow for both of them and you train both of them, because people need to be able to know exactly what to do at every step. What is impacting the creation or changes of the flow. Why I said that we need to always be on the outlook and always be prepared to change. Market realities. Sometimes the market changes, the consumer changes. For example, many years ago, the people haven't been so conscious about the wellness. They haven't been so knowledgeable about the products. So before, maybe it was much easier in teaching the organization about the products, about the nutrition. Today, we need to teach our distributors more, because there are a lot of customers who know details and information about the nutrition. So nutrition, they are looking for specific results, and we need to have our distributors be prepared to respond to those needs. Other leaders' innovations, because we go to the trainings and our organizations are exposed to some other stories, or somebody is coming with the idea which you feel like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. Like it happened to me many times during my experience, when I was looking for something in the flow, and when I was going to the training and I heard somebody else's experience, and I said, oh, this is exactly what I was missing. I want this part or this bit exactly for my flow, because it's a missing piece. Herbalife rules and legal changes. Sometimes the rules of the country change. We live in Europe, for example. We have a very, very complicated legal landscape, and always something is changing. But also the company rules. Some things we were able to do, and then the rule change, and we are not able to do it anymore, or the other way around. We were not able to do some things, and then the rules change, and suddenly we have a little bit more flexibility or space to do. Technology is very much influencing the flow, and it can enhance it endlessly. Not to say that there are a lot of flows which we see now in the Herbalife world, which are based on technology. Crises are also coming and pushing the organization to change and innovate, whether it's an internal crisis, and we have had a separate training on the crises, which is very important to know how to behave during the crisis, or this is the proactive evolution. And I, as a leader, together with Sergio, we're always for proactive evolution, because when you study the success of other companies, you see that they try to innovate and change even before is the need. So they make sure they always are ahead of the curve. Why? Because we were discussing a little bit earlier about the cycles of the business model. I've seen many leaders throughout the years complaining. Oh, but many years ago, when I started, or when Mark Hughes was around, the things were happening this and this and this way. Why? Oh, why now it's different? Because every business model has a life cycle. So you need to be prepared that even now, if you have the perfect flow and things are working brilliantly, you need to understand this flow is going to weather out in 2 years or in a year and a half, because the people get bored. They always need something new. And then also the market changes, the consumer is changing, the new products are appearing. For example, we didn't have a lot of snacks in our product line. And then suddenly in 1 year, we had a lot of new snacks, including the protein chips and Herbalife 24 bars, and the new version of the Formula One Express bar. And then we have suddenly the savory Formula One. So we ended up with so many snacks that we had to build it into our flow, how to expose people to all these snacks and different things that are appearing actually and are changing the things. And you need to really be ready to innovate. And if you take initiative, responsibility, and action as a value for you as a leader, you will see that there is nobody you can turn to. It's your job and your duty to take that responsibility and create the new, to lay down the new path for your group. Now, as I told you, we have the responsibility for the business flow, and we have the responsibility to design and create it. And most of the times we don't do it from scratch. Maybe in a 30 years career, you will have one time the challenge to do that, as we had when we had to change our business model from the model of wellness centers to the model of nutrition clubs. That was designing and creating a flow. And that was also not from scratch, because we could rely on the experience of other leaders in other countries. So most of the time we are adapting the flow, or we are creating based on something older. Second is how to implement. Third is how to manage, and then how to fine tune and evolve. And the reason for this training is that I want you to be conscious on every step on the way. I believe very much in conscious leadership. Leaders who know what is happening, who can identify when something is wrong, who can identify when something is good happening in the business and extract that good experience and promote and implement the good practices and good experiences in their organization. So this is a conscious leadership, and with the flow, it's very important for you to have this conscious approach. And I really hope that our training, my training, is going to help you understand better all these notions, and will help you really have a better knowledge and position to change things. Now, in the second part of the training, we are going to go into each of these elements or 4 steps, and I'm going to share with you my experience on that.